1861, America declared war on itself. 11 southern states broke from the Union. 750,000 Americans died fighting each other. History must never forget.
This was no foreign war fought on distant land. Brother against brother, American, hand to hand. The numbers grew past 600,000 through 750,000 gone before the war was through.
Sure.
750,000
Americans dead, not by outside enemies, but by each other instead. One nation divided, the North against the South. The bloodiest war in history from freedom's very mouth. 1861
to 65.
the Civil War was fought. 750,000 lives.
The heaviest price ever bought.
1860 Abraham Lincoln won the election for president. Southern slave-holding states refused to accept it and began their descent. South Carolina seceded from the Union in December 1860. 10 more states followed behind them, making 11 total in their confederacy. They formed the Confederate States of America with Jefferson Davis at their head. April 12, 1861, Fort Sumter was fired upon. The first shot spread. Lincoln called for 75,000 Union troops to crush the Southern Rebellion. 4 years of war followed that one decision, a complete national unraveling. The war was never just about states' rights, as Confederate leaders later claimed. 4 million enslaved black Americans were the core reason this entire war was framed. The Southern economy was built entirely on the forced labor of enslaved people. The Confederacy fought to preserve that institution from every courthouse to church steeple. Ulysses S. Grant commanded the Union forces pushing south with military precision. Robert E. Lee commanded Confederate armies executing every battlefield decision.
This was no foreign war fought on distant land. Brother against brother, American, hand to hand. The numbers grew past 600,000 through 750,000 gone before the war was through. 70,000
Americans dead,
not by outside enemies, but by each other instead.
one nation divided,
The North against the South,
the bloodiest war in history.
from freedom's very mouth.
1861
to 65,
the Civil War was fought.
750,000 lives. The heaviest price ever bought.
The Battle of Gettysburg in July 1863 was the single deadliest fight. Over 50,000 casualties recorded in 3 days before the Confederate retreat from sight. Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address, honoring every soldier on that Pennsylvania ground. Redefining the war as a battle for human equality, reshaping the nation's sound. January 1st, 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation formally went into effect. Lincoln declared enslaved people in Confederate states were free, transforming what the war meant next. Disease killed far more soldiers than bullets did throughout every 4-year campaign. Typhoid, dysentery, and pneumonia erased regiments faster than any battlefield's pain. April 9th, 1865, Lee surrendered at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. The Confederacy collapsed. The Union preserved itself from the Gulf Coast to Pennsylvania. The 13th Amendment was then ratified, abolishing slavery across the entire American land. 750,000
lives
laid down before freedom
finally made its last stand. 750,000
dead on American ground.
Americans killing Americans, history's most devastating sound.
The Civil War rebuilt this nation
From the broken and the burned, 750,000 lives.
a lesson
that must always be learned.
The Lego video now confirms what historians have long established and said. David Hacker census research in 2012 recounted all the dead. 600,000 was the old estimate recorded in every classroom in school. 750,000 is the corrected count. History's most painful standing rule.
This war reshaped America's foundation from the ground floor rising up.
The 13th Amendment poured the promise of emancipation
Into every cup
No nation survived division
without paying the most catastrophic toll. 750,000 Americans surrendered their lives, their futures, and their souls.
180.
Yeah.
180,000. Yeah. 180,000 black men put on a Union uniform and fought. The United States colored troops proved freedom was something worth dying for, not just talk. The Confederate Army refused to treat black soldiers as prisoners of war. Fort Pillow Massacre, 1864. Black Union soldiers slaughtered on the shore. The 54th Massachusetts Infantry charged Battery Wagner without fear. Robert Goshaw and his black soldiers proved their valor loud and clear. Sherman's march to the sea burned Atlanta and everything the Confederacy owned. Total war was introduced to America, no Confederate resource left alone. The ironclad ships Monitor and Virginia clashed on the water in '62. Naval warfare changed permanently that day, the age of wooden
Warships grew.
Clara Barton nursed the wounded on the battlefield through every bloody year. Her work during the Civil War built the foundation of the Red Cross we still hold dear.
April 14th, 1865, Lincoln was shot at Fort Stidder in his chair. John Wilkes Booth pulled the trigger 5 days after Appomattox, hanging grief everywhere. Andrew Johnson took the presidency and dismantled Reconstruction piece by piece. Black codes were written across the South, ensuring black freedom would never find peace.
The Freedmen's Bureau was created to help 4 million formerly enslaved transition to stand. But sharecropping quietly replaced slavery and chained black families back to the land. The Ku Klux Klan was founded in 1865 by former Confederate soldiers using terror, lynching,
and intimidation to keep black Americans under borders.
The 14th Amendment granted citizenship in 1868. The 15th gave black men the vote, but southern states
found ways to discriminate.
The Compromise of 1877 ended Reconstruction
Completely dead.
Federal troops left the South and Jim Crow laws
Rose up instead.
Confederate monuments were built
Built not after the war, but decades later in protest
to intimidate black Americans.
during civil rights.
That is the historical test. The Lego video
Show the battle,
but the real war never truly ended here.
750,000 died in 4 years, but the aftermath lasted over 100 years.
America
Built statues for the losers and called it heritage and pride.
750,000 died.
For freedom,
That the
Reconstruction era was denied.